All right, we're live. Oof. Yeah, I wanted to be live earlier, but yeah, kind of messed up on this. Last preference. I hate this. Why does Google Chrome keep losing access to sharing? Come on. This is annoying. So how's everybody? That's why you don't start a stream until you have everything ready. But oh well. You live, you learn. Will you stop whining? This dog. All right. Yeah, so basically today's session is we're basically gonna look at what we did last time in the previous session and with Terraform and just get this into GitHub Actions to deploy automatically. So yeah, but let me see if this. Can I share this? No. All right, I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Let's see if this worked. Yeah, it's been ridiculous. All right, let's see if we can share the screen. Ha! All right, we can share the screen. We're good to go. I don't know why it lost access, but we're ready to go. All right, so basically this is what we did last time. This is the Terraform we had. Actually, sorry, Terraform is here. There we go. So last stream, we had this Terraform code that's actually right here under April 24th, 2022. And now we did everything locally. So now the next step is to actually do this in GitHub Actions. I did some troubleshooting. I did some testing ahead of time so that I had an idea on how to do this, make sure I could teach you. But so we're going to delete this altogether and we'll start from scratch. Okay. So here's why we want to do Terraform in GitHub Action. The reason why is because we want to be able to have, deploy our infrastructure. Sorry about that. Deploy our infrastructure and as we code it, right? So you push your change and then you have the change get implemented in production and then just keep going through this cycle of, all right, I make the change, I make sure everything works, I push it into production, and then it just keeps going like this. So that's why you would want GitHub Action. There's other options than GitHub Actions out there. You can have Azure DevOps. You can have CloudFormation, I want to say. Is that what CloudFormation does in AWS? Yeah. CloudFormation, and things like that to deploy. But the reason why you would do it in GitHub is because you have the source control and all that stuff in one place, and GitHub is something that really we all have access to without having to really pay any money for it. So that's why we're going to do GitHub actions. So let's go. All right, so when you make a GitHub action, you will have to have a, let me do this so we can all see. I think 3 is a good number. All right, that's perfect. All right, so here you will have a folder that says .github, and here you would have workflow, and then you'll have your workflows are in the YAML format. And it only works at the root. So I tried here. It only works at the root. So we'll write it in here in the May 7th if you want to write it. Flows, and then you go on like this. But here we'll do this. So the first thing you need, actually, you know what? Let me see if I can open this here. Yeah, so I have a cheat sheet. So the first thing you need is the name of your workflow, right? So we're going to call it deploy Terraform infrastructure. Okay, right. So you need to name your workflow. Then we need a few things. So when the workflow is triggered, so the first thing we're going to say is we're going to say on push. So when a branch is pushed, and we want only, for example, the main branch. So that allows you to be able to push your code anywhere you want without having to deploy it, right? You can push it on any branch, and the only branch that will deploy it is the main branch. Okay. Then we want to say, here's what you're going to do. So this is the job section. So where the first thing you take is the name of a job. So for example, Terraform. And this is, and it's not really a name, it's more of an ID to refer to it later. You can reference back the results of a previous job. So think about it this way. You have a job to plan your Terraform infrastructure to make sure everything is good. And then if that job is successful, you have another job next that runs based on those results and does the deployment. But it needs to know, so it checks the previous job variable, which is Terraform plan. Then we need to give it a friendly name. We're going to say Terraform deployment. And we need to give it an environment. So the environment is really, I don't have to give it an environment, but the environment allows you to specify different variables, right? So for example, you would have you could do something like this where you have a production branch, right? And then here you will have a production environment. And so when you push on the main branch, you will do you'll run this workflow with the production settings. When you work on the test branch, you will run with the settings with the test branch. And here, we'll call it example. All right, now we need to say what operating system we're running on. So I'm going to pick Windows latest. You can also pick Ubuntu latest or Windows 2019 or different versions. Do I have it here? Let me see. Do you autocomplete? Can. I'm just trying to see the various options. All right. I'm just trying to find the options so I can show you what they are. Are you? All right. So if we look here are the options that they offer. So you can say latest. The thing with latest is that it will be the latest, right? So in 2019, if you use when before 2022, if you use Windows latest, you will have 2019, and then 2022, and then in 3 years you may be having 2025. Then you have like different things. Does it matter? Maybe. It really depends on your workflow, your actions. If you have to do something that's really Windows specific, like if you compile, I don't know, .NET framework code, you probably would want to get a Windows one. But yeah. Okay. So Windows latest. Okay. Now we want to say continue on error, false, right? So if there's any other jobs after it, we want to be like, hey, no, you can't. This is, if the plan fails, if anything is wrong with the plan, don't deploy it, right? Then you want to set the environment variables. So the environment loads secrets, and I will show you in a minute. Maybe I should have actually started with this, but you know. All right. If you go in one of your repositories, and I'm not going to share my repository because you don't have access to it because it's a public repository, only I have access to it. If you look here, you can go into environments, and here I have one that's called example, but I can create a new environment. Let's say call it production. All right, and here I can add some secrets. So my secret and there you go. Now you can't read a secret ever. You can update it, you can remove it, but you can't read it. But when it loads, when your GitHub action runs, the secret gets loaded into an environment variable. And that environment variable, let me put this away, is so for example, if we say is still sleeping, so you would do secrets dot, and here your those are auto completed, but they're not automatic, right? So you say secrets dot secret, right? Now this is not correct. We'll correct it, but this is what it loads. But now Terraform needs certain environment variables to know where to store the state. You can store it in a file, but you don't want to store it in a file because, as we've seen, if I, Caroline, push my secrets in a file in a repository that is public, then everybody who reads that repository will have access to my secrets. And I don't want anybody to be able to deploy to my infrastructure. So I will put my secrets somewhere, and that's here. I'm actually just going to copy and paste it because it's going to be a lot. But here, so this is what it's taking, right? So it's taking a client ID for a service principal. It's taking the secret for service principal. It's taking the target subscription for said service principal, and the tenant for the service principal. Again, So we want to define those so that Terraform can look for them when it needs them. Right, it's part of the variables that Terraform takes. Okay, so now we've set up our environment. This is what's happening. This is how it's going to look like when we set up our environment. Here, actually, I'm just going to put it back to main. And I'm actually named that branch this. It's a mistake on my part, but whatever. I did it yesterday. Okay, so now we have our environment set up. Next step is we need to actually do things. So we do steps, and I will mention something. So name. The first thing we need to do is check out the repo, right? We need to get all the files from the repository locally. We're going to do sorry, it's ID and uses actions / all right. What is the problem here? Sorry, I'm trying to figure out what the problem is. Oh, wrong indent. Okay. All right. So here are the sections. Yeah, indentation. Yeah, that was the problem. All right. So here we have a section. This is the name of the workflow. This is so. Yeah. Name of the workflow. Then we have condition for run. Here we have obviously jobs to run. 1 second, the dogs are killing me. All right. All right, so the jobs to run, this is job number 1. This section right here is environment for job number 1. And this is the steps to run. All right. Yeah, but if you hear the dogs barking continuously and I don't stop them, it's going to be a very annoying stream. All right. So this is the structure of a YAML file, right? So the name of the workflow, the conditions for the workflow to run, the jobs to run, and then the steps within the job, right? A step is smaller than a job. Okay, so now let's go to the steps. So the step is really like this: name, ID, because then you can reference to the result of a step later. We're not going to do that, but we can. And then you have options here. Here uses means just to do something that's already like hard coded as part of GitHub, right? So it's yeah. What are you saying? Whatever. So here you're just gonna do that checkout v2 action, which is gonna just get the code from the repository. Okay. So now we have our repository loaded up into the machine, the environment, and now we're going to do things to it. So name, the first thing we want to do is, set the current repository. Okay. Oh, not current. Working folder. That working directory. And then we're going to say the shell is going to be PowerShell, right? PowerShell 7. Basically, what this does is going to set the current working repository, PowerShell. It's PWSH or PowerShell. PowerShell is PowerShell 5. And I'm not 100% sure if this will work. So let's do this. Let's add another step. It's usually when I work with things like this, there's no subfolders. There's no infrastructure in subfolders. Shouldn't be using aliases, but I am. I copy. Actually, you know what? New file. Okay. All right, we save this. Current branch. Now we're going to commit this. Totally acceptable comment. So it's not a stupid question. They're environment variables. So think about them as, environment variable. There's a variable called secret in the environment, and there's like secret dot whatever you have as a secret. And they're basically a part of the environment. You can reference them anytime. You don't have to set them. They're set as part of the environment, and they're loaded into memory as opposed to in any type of code or scripts or whatever. 1 second. Okay. All right, so this is committed. Let me get this back. Okay, let's look at the actions. Here you can see committing. This is our workflow. So this is what happened. It ran. We did set up the job, check out the repository, set the working folder, right? That's the job. And here we did print the working folder. Okay, that didn't stay. Yeah. Well, Azure functions have the same mechanisms where they load variables into memory so that you can use secrets into memory, so you can use them without explicitly writing them down. All right, so let me need to Google it. It's already here. Okay, we can just do working directory. Okay, I guess that's what we have to do. Cool, so let's do this. That's going to be annoying. We're going to have to find a better way. Yeah, for some reason I'm a little bit congested today. There we go, I'm looking for this. Okay, so we need to set it in our environment. All right, cool. So here we can say, I'm actually excited tonight. I'm going to see, what's the name of that thing? Doctor Strange. I know nobody cares, but I'm excited, so deal with it. Why do you want to always be here, huh? Say hi to Boris. Say hi. Hi. We good? Oh, parrots. All right, so here we want to do working directory. That's not what it said in here. Oh, for the job. No. Okay. What am I missing? We good here? So let's try committing this again. Too many things running. And let's see what happens. So it's committing. Oh, actually, did I push it? I did not. But you'll see it like show up pretty quickly and start running. There you go. Boom. This is ours. This is the thing. There you go. It's running. And here you can see step-by-step live. The longer the workflow, the more likely you are to catch it live. But see, it's still not working. Oh, maybe because it's Windows, actually. I'm just looking things up here, trying to figure out. Yeah, that's going to be ridiculous if that's how you have to do it. You know what? Ubuntu latest should work just fine, right? If this works on Ubuntu, I don't see any objections to using Ubuntu with PowerShell anyway. All right, we'll use this. Batter shot. Let's push this. Let's see what happens. All right. Yeah, I usually do everything at the root level, so it's not really. Doesn't like it. Okay, I guess the documentation, well, the internet lied to me. Sorry, I was trying to do this. The other thing I saw is this. Set some defaults. Let's go like this. Push. Ubuntu seems to work a lot faster. Maybe that's what you should do. I mean, I guess even though I was trying to teach you guys something, oh, there you go. Because it's not there. Boom. We're in the right place. All right. So that's what we need to do. Yeah. So we don't need this anymore. All right, we got this working. So if you want a default directory, that's the default directory for this infrastructure. And this is all public, actually. Can I? Where are you? Whatever. I'm just going to share the code. It's in there. It's in the branch. Cool. All right, actions. All right, now we're ready. All right, so let's look at this. All right, so we have this. Now we can start doing more stuff. We do have to set up the principal and all that stuff. It's a little bit annoying. Let's open an integrated terminal. Actually, you know what? Where are you? I'm going to do it here. So we're going to have to create those secrets and all that stuff so we can start working with Terraform. So let's do this. We're going to take this. Hide. What is it? As a show. Personal subscription. I don't want that. I don't know how to use the AZ. AZ account. Set. Oh. instead. Now we want to say just look at the documentation. All right, what are my subscriptions? Cool. So we have the proper subscription now. Let's create a service principal. All right, so it's the ADSP create for our back. Scopes, subscriptions. Actually, we want to do this. Name. Okay. Role, we want to give it owner. Scopes, subscriptions. And we do this. Actually, is it here already? Cool. And because I don't want to show everyone the full permissions on how to create things on this account, you can reproduce. Here's the comment I ran. Because I'm not going to share the whole. All right. While I do that, you can do this on your own if you want to follow along. All right. Then we get something like it's something like this, right? Once you run this, yes, that is the account that Terraform is going to be using to make changes. And the reason why you do it this way as opposed to any other way is that it allows you to. So, for example, if you have different production environments, you can create one account per production environment, and when you run in that environment, only that account can make changes to that subscription. That allows you to not break everything, as opposed to having one account that's like godlike in your entire environment. And so, and the reason for owner as opposed to contributor is that if you ever want to set permissions, you need either owner or contributor with user access, whatever, which ends up basically being owner. So yeah, so that's how you do it. And then you get the service principal, and we're going to set that as our secrets. I'm going to do the display name because then we can have that. Okay. All right, let me get this up. Let me close this so that people don't see this. Dashboard. Actually, if we go to the subscription, let me bring up the subscription for you. If we go here and access management and we do role assignments, you can see Terraform SP is the one we did. I just created. It's right here with owner permissions. Yeah. Now, basically, now what we want to do is create our environment. What did I call it? Example. All right. So we go to environments. In your repo, like settings, environment, example. I'm actually going to delete this. I don't know my password, then never mind. I'm just going to add stuff here. I'm just going to do this one in public so that people can see how it's done. It's not a real secret that people that is being used. All right, display name, nobody cares. All right, and then you add your secret. Okay, I'm gonna do the rest on the side so that nobody can see those very private, full CUD-like accounts on the live stream. So just give me 1 second. We're gonna do client ID. Actually, sorry, it's here. That's the one you want, client ID. Okay, that's the app ID. All right, we add this secret. And the good thing is you can't edit that, you can't see them later. So once I've done this, I can just show you the page and there's really nothing you can see that would betray the secrets. All right, we're gonna add the secret. Subscription ID, that's the subscription in your scope. Yeah, I know nobody can see what I'm doing, but all right. Then tenant. All right. And then when you're done, you should see something like this. So you should see something like this with your secrets right here. So that's going to be loaded in the environment. That's called example, right? Okay. So now we have that. That allows Terraform to function. We're going to need a little bit more than that because now what we need is we need to initialize Terraform. First thing we're going to do though is we're going to check the format. Right. Let's make sure that we are good on this. We're going to install Terraform, sorry. Before we do that, I'm trying to get this back up. All right, first thing is set up Terraform. Up. Because here there's no Terraform, right? It's just Ubuntu latest, and there's no Terraform in it. So we need to tell it to import Terraform. Here we do the same thing as use the one before. Uses corp setup dash Terraform at v1. Then we need to do if, just if you want to specify the Terraform version. So this will set up Terraform. Then we'll check the format. Make sure that everything is formatted properly. Then we'll run it. So when you say run, right, it will use a shell. The basic is like whatever the default is for the operating system. If you want to specify a different shell, you have to specify it. But here, okay. And now we gotta initialize Terraform. We're gonna have to need more secrets. And since this is a lot to type, I'm going to just copy and paste it. All right. So what this does is gives you the Terraform backend where you're going to store the state file and all that stuff. So we need that data. So the subscription, the tenant, the resource group name, the storage account name, the container in the storage account name, and the key to the storage account name. The thing that stores the Terraform state. So let's go back here. Resource groups, Terraform. All right, so Terraform state. Here I have, this is the account name, and then the subscription, and then you get the keys from here. All right, TF state, and this is where your state is stored. So I'm going to set up the environment variable in here. You can do the same because those are secrets. I'm not going to share them, but you can do the same while I do this. All right, so backend subscription ID. You don't have to store your state in the same subscription as where you store your infrastructure, right? Where the infrastructure is deployed. One advantage of doing that is you prevent somebody from deleting the state or accessing the state. Because one of the things about the state is that if there's any passwords or keys, they're all in plain text in the storage account. So if you don't want people to have access to all these keys and things like that, you have to put it somewhere else. So you can put it in a different subscription. Here I'm going to put it in the same subscription, but you don't have to. All right, so let's do this. All right, subscription. So you can, yeah, so the backend tenant ID, you can even have the completely different tenant. Like if you're really paranoid or whatever, you can just be like, I will create a different account. I will even put this in AWS to store my states. Right? And I mean, since you can deploy multi-cloud infrastructure, why not? I do have the tenant ID here. All right. Resource group name. And you can name those secrets whatever you want. You just have to make sure that you, you know, can find them later, or they make sense also. All right. That secret. Almost done. And also, you don't have to have one storage account per Terraform state. You can have multiple states in one storage account. All right. Yeah, that's the most painful thing about setting it up. But once you've set it up, like you're done. All right, 1 second. Sorry. And I think I am done. All right. And this is what it should look like when you're done. And if we run all this, right, now that we have our environment and everything set up, if we go and save this and we run it, and where are you? Oh, it's not happy. What's the problem? Failed to get existing workspaces. Error retrieving keys for storage accounts. Blah, blah, blah. Refresh failed. Invalid client. Client secret provided. You're welcome. Thank you for being here. All right, so let me see. I probably just copied the wrong secret improperly. Let's do this. All right, let's give it a shot. Let's do this. You can also rerun the job. Why did I do that wrong? Invalid client. Maybe I did something here. This is very annoying. Should just work on the live stream. All right, client ID. Client secret. All right, if I don't make it work, I'm just gonna give up for today. My voice is starting to die. Okay, I made a mistake when copy and pasting the username and password for the service principal name. All right, so this works, right? Cool. All right, so since this works, we have the initialization, and now we need to plan. All right, and we're gonna run. And the variables we're going to use are I forgot how you do this. Do I have this? I don't have it. Because you can't really input anything. So you're going to have to specify the value of your variables, which are stored here. And var file. File name is caroline.tfvars. And as a reminder, caroline.tfvars has just a prefix prod. And since all this is already created here from before, we should be fine. They shouldn't do anything, but let's commit that. And let's see what happens. So in theory, our plan will just be like, hey, no changes. That's what we would expect to see if everything was good. All right, so everything's good. No changes. Ta-da! I don't know why people do no color as an option. I like this. All right, so now, just for fun, I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna delete the resource group. What is it? We're gonna delete all this, and now if we do run it again with the plan, it's gonna say, oh no, you have to do things. I'm just waiting on this to be done. Sorry, this is taking a while. And then no resources. We're just waiting on the resource group to be deleted. All right, this is taking forever, but all right, we're deleted. Now I'll take this, I'll rerun this. See now, because this account has permissions, it sees that something changed, and now so I'm going to recreate this. Okay. And now if we want, we got to do this next thing, which is and all right, let's force this auto approve. Right. So now if I take this push to origin. So now what is going to happen? I'm going to take this and it's going to run actions. And now we're applying it. So first thing it does a plan. Ta-da. And then it's creating things. If we refresh here, it may take a little bit before the portal is up to date. Ta-da! This is here. Hopefully both of those are here too. No, still working on it. Nope, it's done. You can see it ran and applied. Did its thing. Complete. And there we go. Ta-da! All right. That's it. That's what I wanted to show you, how to do it. Now, if I want to do this, I can just one last thing. Let's just do this. It's not going to be called test. Now I'm going to commit push to origin. And let's see what happens here. So we expect 3 resources to be deleted and 3 resources to be created. See, 3 add, 3 destroy, and now it's going to do this for us. And there we go. So now you see how you can just take your infrastructure, code it, push it, and then it deploys. And the good thing is with this, you can add this infrastructure to like your website and whatnot, and just push it all together, right? If you want to make a change, you're like, oh, I forgot this variable, or oh, I forgot this or that. You can just make it so that it will just push everything. If you're like, you know what, I decided I'm going to change the name of my application, and now everything is going to be called like from Caroline Test to Caroline Prod. I can just like, right, just push the infrastructure easily with your code, change everything, and everything still works because it's, made to work. So it takes a while, but you get the idea. That was it. Very simple. All of this is free, right? There's nothing to pay. I mean, you will have to pay for the storage account and whatnot, but you're looking at cents, a few cents a month, which is essentially free. So yeah, that's the stream. That's the end of it. It's still creating, doing its thing. This it's probably gone. See, test now. Test is here. The production is gone, and the test ones are here. So yeah, and it's done. So good job, everyone. The code is in GitHub, and you know what? I'm actually going to. Yeah, no, it's fine. The code is in GitHub. You can go check it out, and I'll see you in another stream.